Salutare și bine v-am regăsit la un nou episod din Grind Podcast. După cum ați văzut deja și din titlu, în seara asta avem doi invitați speciali veniți din Polonia, dar avem și un invitat de-al nostru. E vorba despre Klamath, pe care îl știți fie din articolele publicate în Grind 5, fie de pe canalul Îmi place să mă joc, link în descriere. Stăm la povești cu Iacev și Volcev de la Bloober Team, responsabilii pentru jocuri precum Layers of Fear, The Medium, celebrul Silent Hill 2 remake apărut anul trecut și cel mai nou titlu al lor scos proaspăt din cuptor acum câteva săptămâni, Kronos, The New Dawn. Apropo de asta, avem și un review scris despre Kronos pe care îl găsiți pe site-ul nostru grnd.ro sau dacă vreți aveți și un link în comentarii. Eu propun să vă luați o pereche bună de căști și haideți să ne bucurăm împreună de episodul din seara asta. Sper să vă placă. Klamath, do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, of course. Let's start with
Let's
an
go.
introductory question. I'm curious because you already have a big history in survival and horror games, and I want to know what it means for you, the Bloober team in 2025, from studio culture and how you build the games, the survival genre.
So everything started with Layers of Fear. Yeah, so I joined Bloober later. I joined directly to Project Observer. Jacek is here longer. He also worked on Layers of Fear. So for the company, that was like the break point. Yeah, like we really did something we were really proud of. Even I was attracted because I'm a big horror fan. And I knew the guy who worked here, and he showed me Layers of Fear. I was like, "Wow, that's great, yeah." And he invited me to an interview here, and the rest is history. But yeah, for us, it was like the breakthrough is something that we really love to, let's say, attach to create better horrors, bigger, better. And yeah, with each game we are evolving. So Layers of Fear were more, more like a puzzle game. Then Observer introduced like a dialogue mechanics, more mechanics in gameplay, like a cooperation with Rutger Hauer, which was like an honor for us. So with each game we added something more and more. Yeah, in Blair Witch we added our first AI companion. I mean the dog. Some kind of enemies. Medium was a big leap, like to a third person that changed a lot. Again, we were able to work with Akira Yamaoka and learn new things, learn to, for example, how to direct cutscenes from a third-person perspective, which was completely different to our previous experience with Blair Witch, Observer, and Layers of Fear. And then we were, honored to create Silent Hill 2 remake, and now we can pull off our own survival horror game. So, it's like a journey. And we are just growing with a company and with the games we made, and this really makes us happy and proud.
Yeah, we are diehard, me and Wojciech, but also, part of the team, diehard fans of survival horror genre. And of course, if somebody asks us, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, hey, let's do our, own, we will definitely, say, let's go. But it wasn't a good idea at that time. I think we need to evolve as a team, learn the technology, also technology evolve and so on. So we with it. And after finishing the Medium and seeing that our, second team is doing Silent Hill, we thought, okay, that's a moment for us, to create a Bloober survival horror 100%, something new, and let's go with sci-fi. That's also very interesting, and there's a big void in case of like sci-fi games, but overall sci-fi survival horror games. And I can talk about it even 1 hour, so maybe let's go specific if you want to tackle something with your questions.
Maybe It's just worth to mention that we have like 2 core teams in Bloober team, and that's how we are creating games that fast. Yeah. Like when one project is starting, the other one is nearly to finish. So it's like we are working like cogs in a machine. So now we transfer people to Silent Hill, and then we will receive them back when we will be finishing our new game.
I was reading some comments on YouTube. You did the interview 4 months ago, and I could see the excitement in your face, but in the same time you were kind of sad because you wouldn't allowed to say more about the game. I think at that time you didn't have also a release date, so it's crazy looking back, knowing some stuff that we know right now. And some guys were like, do you imagine that these guys were working at Silent Hill 2 remake and Kronos in the same time? That's crazy, that nobody knew from media or from in the gaming industry like ourselves that you guys are working at Kronos, and we were like, oh my god, this the guys from Bloober have this big project, Silent Hill 2 remake. But in the same time, you in secret you worked on this amazing game. So by the way, the elephant in the room, most of the guys watching right now, I'm sure that they are having such a blast with it. And I just want to follow up with a question, because everybody's curious. You talk in previous interviews about inspiration, and we can see, for example, some obvious ones. You basic, I mean, I'm assuming you inspired from Dead Space, right? From Resident Evil with the puzzles, and of course the Dark series, right? The TV series that you mentioned, and maybe some movies like Annihilation. But we are curious about the obscure ones that few, if any, fans have figured it out, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Are
of
there
course.
any other
Yeah,
inspiration?
of course, maybe more obscure, it's, Bloodborne. Even when we start talking about the Kronos at the beginning, we start talking about, there's disease that's changing people and everybody go mad and so on. And yeah, like in the Bloodborne, and we go into that more and more. So also Bloodborne was there at the beginning in case of also atmosphere, really, really heavy and different from any other thing, and having this, disease changing the whole city and the world somewhere inside of it. Yeah, so one of them is Bloodborne. So Wojciech, maybe you will give another one, then I will try to give another one, and let's see how far we can go.
Okay, so I was also inspired by Blam. It's a manga about like a transhuman guy who traversed this like a mega city which is building itself for years, and like a feeling of isolation there. Like yeah, exactly. It's awesome, and also it affected gameplay because in Blam, Keely has this awesome gun that he charges and then shoots like a powerful laser beams that are mostly leveling buildings in this game. Of course, it it couldn't be done in a survival horror, but it led us to create this like a charging mechanics in a game which bump up the gameplay. Creating this feeling, will I land the shot when the monster is coming? And yes, yeah. So we love it. Yeah. So that's maybe not obvious inspiration that even doesn't come from other game. Yeah. Jacek, your turn.
Yeah. So another one would be Nier Automata. I think we were blown away when we played this game. I played also whole, all the endings, everything, and that was masterpiece. But so overall, in case of like story, characters, I also think some kind of Nier Automata philosophy is there, because what we also like to say in case of Kronos, like, okay, we are making survival horrors, psychological horrors, but for us, Kronos, it's more like philosophical horror. So I also think this came out a little bit from Nier Automata side.
Yeah, and now maybe I'll go something completely different with music.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of my inspirations, I was listening a lot of like very industrial things, to feel the vibe. So I will, I just want to point one album from the back. It's called Machines 1.5. This is like a very, very heavy industrial, banging, and I love it, And yeah, I'm often listening to something to just, closing eyes and trying to be inspired by tunes, not only, by games and movies. So that's something that I would like to, show up here.
That's a very, very cool aspect. I mean, yeah, I'm having in mind when I read the autobiography of John Romero, the Doom guy. he said that when they worked at id, at Doom, especially in Quake, they listened to a lot of heavy metal in their room. Basically that was the studio. So I was right now that you're saying, it's very interesting. I mean, to basically get the vibes, the right vibes for the game, because music always played a big role in games. For example, imagine playing Mario without the tum 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 sound. It's not the same. So that's a good one, and hopefully the guys watching have noted your recommendation. And I know that you're a big Souls-like fans, right? You mentioned in interviews before. Is there something right now that you're playing, Souls-like, that you could name?
Right now, now it's hard, the question, because now everything is a Souls-like, and that's another problem I think we have currently in case of putting some tags on games. So lately I finished Wuchang. I was just curious, how it plays and how it's built, and I really like it. I play on PS5 Pro, so I didn't maybe have so much technical problem, because I know there was some problems with optimization. But I really like it, how they combine different Souls-like ideas and put their own spin on it, and how it use also Chinese mythology and history and everything. So when I finish the same day, in 1 hour, I go to the shop and buy Wukong that I didn't play before. Also to have it in the box as a collector, and I start playing Wukong. So now I'm on the Wukong. But in case of Wukong, somebody will say, yeah, it's a Souls-like, and somebody will say, no, it's an action game having some stuff like respawning, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the current from my side.
So during the last month of Kronos, we were like working much, so I have a big backlog, and during the last month I've played only Street Fighter, and because of the quick sessions, to just go back,
release
and
the stress.
and try to beat people on the internet with Sagat, the new character that appeared. It's awesome, love it. And in terms of bigger games, while traveling, I played Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the game is bananas. Love it. And I have my backlog. So I started, Expedition 33, didn't finish because of traveling. Started Bonanza, didn't finish. Started Doom, I borrowed it from Jacek, didn't finish. So I have a big backlog. Oh, awesome. And Death Stranding 2, I want to return there. So now, when the dust will settle after Kronos, I can go back to finish these awesome games.
2025, I feel like the games that release, for example, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or Avowed, or games that release in the first part, when I'm thinking of them, I feel like they were released 2 years ago or something like this.
It
was such a good year for gaming, and a lot of bangers. It's so much stuff to do, so much stuff to play. Every month you get like 3 or a minimum of 4 games. Very nice. And I don't know, even if you're that kind of player that wants to be completionist and just don't start a new one until you finish the current one, you cannot resist. There are so many cool stuff, and also cool games that still need to launch. So that's that's pretty great. Klamath, do you want to another one?
Because we talked about Souls-like, so I want to ask a question about the difficulty in Kronos, because you don't get to choose the difficulty in Kronos, and I was curious to know how you came to this decision. Was it too hard to balance multiple settings, or did you want everyone to face the same challenge to preserve the intended feel of the game? Also, is anything dynamically adjusted under the hood based on how the player plays?
So it's more, the ladder.
The second,
The second, So we want everybody to have the same, experience, the same challenge, and then overcoming the same challenge, and also sharing, their feelings and everything. But if we will put easy, a lot of players can just, I will just go to easy, maybe even change it during the game or start the game anew. That can also be some kind of problem for some players. And maybe they will finish the game, they will think, the story was cool or something. But we believe that, you will you will be more engaged and have more memories and emotions, and even in the story, when you will feel you earn it. And we didn't, create a hard game or something like it. It's just challenging game because it's a bit different game in case of merging enemies and so on. So you tackle a bit new problems. You have charging guns that also work a bit different than other games. And of course, you have a lot of, typical survival horror stuff. So yeah, that was the idea. And so far, of course, there are some people that maybe are not a big fan of that, but from what we see, there is a lot and big amount of people, and they just love it. Yeah, like, okay, I need to, tackle all the time my resources, inventory management, fighting with the enemies, figure it out how to do. And the game can be challenging at the beginning, but the further you play, it will ease up, and you will, have more and more, maybe not power fantasy, but you will feel, okay, I understand now the system, and now can have more fun. And it will never work without challenging beginning.
You get good by playing.
Yeah.
Like
of
sounds
course.
like you guys want to say get good.
Yeah, we were like, we just wanted to bring survival horror to a survival level again, yeah. To just, stand up with a name, yeah, of the genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as Jacek said, like Kronos is not that hard in terms. It doesn't require like a super accuracy or something. There is also I'm assist mode if you need it, because what changes the game is the tactical approach. When to use items, when to use flamethrower, which body to burn, or maybe save the flamethrower to stun the enemies when they are attacking you, align them, charge your weapon, for example, pierce through them with a charge shot and kill them in a quick succession. So I think that's more of a key to victory in Kronos than run and gun. Just repositioning yourself, and our combat designers often were saying that they are like a designing every fight like a choreography of it, like a puzzle. Like the guy will came from here. Here is the barrel. Here is something that you can use. You can kite them here. Do this. So yeah, for us it was like, okay, that's good. Yeah, and let's try to bring this challenge to the players. Yeah, and so far as Jacek said, those who like adjusted the system are having fun.
Yeah, in case of what's be behind the hood, there are some systems that checking what's happening with your character. In case of what you have in your stash, in your inventory, how many of stuff is there, and sometimes it reacts. What will be spawned or not. There are some stuff that always will be there, but some of them are generated. Depends on what you have and how you play. If you die, if you don't die. There is a lot of stuff there, to keep you going, but at the same time to keep you on your toes. So if you're, very good player, you should be fine. If you, struggle a lot, we also try somewhere there to help you, but still it's on your side how you will use it, and so
on. Most of the fights in Kronos are enclosed in arenas, but not all of them. And I saw in some occasions what looked like an arena, and it was there a big fight, which I find it more difficult than others. But for my surprise, it wasn't enclosed, and in that case, and I was curious if there was this feedback that you got from the testing team that some of the arenas are too hard, and maybe it's better to leave a way out for the player in
on. I
some
think
cases.
it was just by design, like that sometimes having fun with players' expectations, or like oh, now this will happen. No, we will make something different to break some rules that you feel, okay, there is some rule, I'm starting to see the pattern. So it's very, very important to break the pattern, I think, in everything, like in story, in gameplay, just to not accustom you, but okay, I can still surprise you. Or now you thought you will be a very tough fight in arena, but it's now more open, and we give you more flexibility.
Yeah, so as Jacek said, like in horror, like losing the rhythm is super important, to surprise players, but also to give them breather. Yeah, if you will keep all the fights super tight, it will be more demanding and probably more frustrating for some players. So of course we tested the game on the playtesters, and we often receive feedback that they've got like this adrenaline release when they finishing the fights, or boss fights. Like, I killed someone with the last bullet, and that was the best thing that happened to me. So we really, really tried to, keep the player on the edge. So also some fights are like a test. Like not all of them have to be super hard. Yeah. So sometimes there are fights like we are calling them fillers. Like you go somewhere, you fight with monsters, have fun with the system, but you always have those bodies living behind you. Yeah. Like so, everything may backfire at you.
There are a lot of gameplay mechanics, some simple stuff, but that have a big impact, like you said, from charging your gun or just shooting one by one repetitive, or like you said, burning stuff. But once you burn a body or bodies, monsters, then you don't have unlimited resources, vials with that liquid that bursts fire and so on. So you need to go back, or if you go back, you're gonna encounter other monsters and so on. So that's very interesting. We gave a sneak peek about this interview on our community Discord, and we asked the guys what are they curious the most to ask you guys. So most of the questions were about the traveler's costume. I mean, Klamath, I'm gonna let him put a nice question about the environment, the map. I mean, Nova Huta is very, very nice, and we share this communist past and all these references that sometimes reminds you of even Pripyat, the Eastern Europe traits. And the game is super atmospheric. It's super nice from a designer point of view. As myself, I'm enjoying the most, and feels very inspiring. I mean, the light, it's very nice. The contrast of warm colors with the blues, and it's beautiful. And also it's very interesting the suit of the traveler, and I bet that's gonna be pretty iconic in the future. I mean, at least the helmet, I think it's the most recognizable part of the costume. So there's a lot of I don't know thoughts about it. Like people are saying, hey, it looks like this, or it resembles an astronaut, or something from the Soviet era, or I don't know, something more like male organs or stuff like this. And a lot of theories. What is the actual reason of going with such a bold move on the costume? And
to create something iconic.
Yeah, you named it. Yeah,
okay.
our goal was to create like a iconic character that you'll see the suit and you'll know it's Kronos. And of course, Kronos, you are a traveler and you are diving in time. So our first inspirations were coming from old diver suits, like a very bulky one, a very old school one. The technology in the game is based on cassette futurism. I mean, from Alien franchise, on old Star Wars movies, everything is very analog. Everything has big buttons, handles, and stuff like this. So yeah, we were definitely also inspired by astronaut suits, by the Soviet pilots, I do believe also, and yeah, but I think diver was on the first place. Maybe one more step back to the Souls games, like an Onion Knight somewhere there.
You're right.
Definitely. Yeah. So for us, just one of the first images of the game in our heads was this big astro diving guy sitting in a Soviet apartment sipping a tea with grandma. So that contrast, was something that we really loved from the get-go. And yeah.
So we make a lot of research. So you have these old divers, you have Soviet jet pilots suits and elements, also Soviet astronaut suits also is somewhere there, also Alien, I think the first one, also spacesuits there that look like, big golem
very bulky
creatures or something like it. But also, space jockeys a little, because, when you starting to, close enough to see the suit. It's not organic, but sometimes have this vibe of something organic there, of some kind of tissue. It's not organic, of course, but still we have this vibe of some kind of hidden, like, some kind of ants or that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's a combination of different things, and we iterated a lot. In case of concept, I think we create a couple of models, then we create final concept, and then we create a final model that we thought, okay, now this is it. This is working for us, and we feel for us it's iconic, and we love it.
Yeah. In terms of let's say putting the guts of the suit outside, I remember our art director telling that he was also inspired by Georges Pompidou building in Paris. In Paris, sorry, I'm turning to French right now. So it's the building when all the pipes and everything are outside of the building instead of being hidden in the walls. Yeah, so that was also like architecture was inspiring also our artists.
And also, because we talk about the helmet, but also we put a lot of work into the back of the character, because this is what we are sewing most of the time. So also, nothing there is random. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay, so
awesome.
talking about the environment that is in the game, as Leo said, we share a common history during the communist era and the same Soviet-inspired architecture. And I also recognize a lot of the toys and other items inside the buildings.
The Christmas tree, Klamath, you put a picture on Discord, and it looks exactly like our when we were kids.
Exactly like I was alive during the 80s, so I remember that. And I was curious how, because you recreated this Nova Huta from Krakow, I understand. And I'm curious what you had to change from the gaming perspective in the levels, from the function of the different locations, the hospital, the theater, the steelworks, and why did you had to do this?
Metrics. I think that's the easiest question. Yeah, like all games have their metrics, where characters can fit, where they cannot fit, what's the vibe, what's the feeling. Even if the level in the editor feel maybe very big, during the gameplay it's very small because of camera and other stuff. So mostly metrics, but it was a bit easier in case of the future that was destroy. We can destroy whatever we want. We can destroy this walls, that walls, just to create, as much space as we need for character, for the monsters, and all other things. And at the same time, in case of the past setting, we can have our metrics, so the character can move freely, but you will still feel okay. It seems real. It's not seems so gamey, like very big corridors, very big doors, or something like it. So it still feels like Poland in 80s. So that's mostly it. And also in case of Nova Huta, we just, put some stuff in different order sometimes that they're not in the, real city, or create this big town hall that's iconic for the game. But also it's not there. There was idea to build it, by Soviets never did it because they ran out of money. So we build
plans,
so we build that, make it even, bigger, more iconic, and then destroy by anomaly to also have our final image there. Final touch on it.
But like from the get-go, this like a brutalist architecture was a perfect match for cassette figurines that we know added to our games. So basically, the game in Nova Huta was also very inspiring, checking all the plans, checking what's there, what have not been built, and so on. So that was like an awesome experience. Also, our lead writer lives there, and his grandpa was really working in a steel factory that you can visit in the game. So that was great. Also like a very nostalgic trip for some of us.
When we can expect a tour in Krakow, a Kronos tour?
There is one, to be honest. It's not Kronos tour, but at some point we gathered, all our foreign workers here. We brought them to Krakow, and our producers organized the trip around Nowa Huta for them, and a lot of people were blown away. Like, wow, this is my level. I'm working on it for 2 years, and it's real. And they also hired a company, that tour company, that drive us with the old cars, like old Polones, Ladas, and all the cars from the era. And we were driving from point to point, and we know that after it, now they are showing, for the other real normal tourists, they are showing, look, we are here in Kronos. It looks like this, yeah. So it's not official, but it's there.
That's great. I mean, we have to thank Polish like you. I mean, the Polish developers, that you guys not only brought our Eastern Europe fantasy, or I should call it fantasy, to the world. I mean, through Witcher, right? Through CD Projekt Red, and with Andrzej Sapkowski's books. Basically, we made our Eastern Europe fantasy cool to the rest of the world. And now, basically, through our shared history that we have through, like you said, for example, that district, the Nowa Huta in Krakow, or I don't know, other references to the 80s, and unfortunately for us was also the communist 80s. We basically are bringing, from what I see, a more exotic way of retro future, like you said, because if we think on what the West does, it's more, how should I say, more clean, more high-tech stuff. But if, like you said, also in the traveler's suit, I mean, everything looks so organic. A lot of stuff builds the suit, but in the same time, it's not random. And also some sort of, in the 80s, early 90s, I don't know, technology stuff that we have, and they look now, if you're looking at them, like Star Wars, or the stuff that they use in the back, because this Sovietic influence, it's not looking the best. It works in a way. It's a bit ugly or exotic, but it looks nice right now, and when using it. And that's nice that once you influence the fantasy, and you guys started it with The Witcher, and now with this cassette retro future, and with, I don't know, the environments. And I'm thinking of, I have this Stalker 2 box here. They are also making I don't know, some sad history part, making it cool right now, and very exotic for us to discover as players, and it's how should I say it, a total different experience than what we would have from a Western game, or even an Eastern game from the Chinese or the Japanese, and so on. So it's nice that finally in Eastern Europe part we are getting there, with the with the big guys, and we are having an identity, sort of.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so it started with the Observer, yeah, like when we were thinking where to set the game, and thinking about Los Angeles and other places, and yeah, at some point, but I was like, let's do this in Krakow, yeah, let's do this here in Poland, like let's blend cyberpunk with the 80s Poland. So yeah, and I think that was like at the first moment when we did it, and as you said, we got a lot of reception saying that it's exotic for a lot of players. I really remember one moment when we traveled to Tokyo Game Show and showing the game to Japanese press, and they say, "Wow, this looks so outwardish to me. It's amazing." Yeah, it's like, yeah,
does
Polish
it
flats,
exist?
yeah.
Is it real?
Yeah, and they also pointed out that Mamoru Oshii, Ghost in the Shell director, created this movie called Avalon, also happening in Wrocław, other Polish city, because they look so surreal for them, like a different world. And yeah, that was great. So Observer was like we recreated a tenement building where one of our level designers lived. And then with the Medium, we recreated the hotel. Now with Kronos, the whole district. So
with the next game, we'll recreate the whole country. I don't know.
An open world,
see.
Right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
GTA of Poland.
Yeah.
Okay. Klamath, do you want to jump or because I have a question on the development part, so I'm gonna prepare it next
Okay.
if you want to jump.
Yeah,
Jump into the future.
you already talked about this. I wanted to ask you if you want to create a connection between your IPs because you already said it that you have basically the same location in Observer and the Medium and now Kronos. And I was wondering if there are some other things that link these games.
There are a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, mostly
Yeah.
Easter eggs, but we don't push like, okay, this is a Bloober horror universe or something like it. Like the Medium, it's something separate. Observer is something separate. Kronos is something separate, but at the same time, they all have some kind of Easter eggs between each other. But yeah, we don't say like, okay, Observer is, in the Kronos world or Kronos is in the world of the Observer. I think that's a separate stuff. It's not like Control and Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Are you aware that at some point you might be referenced like Bloober survival horror, like Souls-like Metroidvania, like I don't know. We are now called, if you see puzzles, we are saying, hey, it's like Resident Evil, or if we see something, I don't know, it's like Silent Hill, because in the way that your guys are going and you're going strong, at some point we're gonna reference like, hey, this is like Bloober games,
Yeah, that's a bit surreal for us being in this place, but overall, that was and is still big a privilege to create your own survival horror, your own new IP when you can go, exotic also in case of setting, and we are all standing behind it. Yeah, like okay, we believe in it, so it's also part maybe of like success at creating something special, that you really believe in something and want to deliver the best thing you can. Also, I think like in most of game development, most of us are also still players, so we also want to deliver to other players the best thing possible,
from
to have
gamers
fun.
to gamers,
Yeah,
right?
from gamers to gamers, definitely, yes.
Yeah, from us by us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can see a lot of passion because we are also at Grind very passionate about games, and we collect them, we play them, we talk about them, we we draw them, and we dream of them, and so on. So we can see. Make exception that we are in the same room right now, but we have this discussion also in private. Let's say we really appreciate and we can see the passion that you have, and you learn a lot from mistakes. I mean, the first game maybe were not perfect and were not intended to be perfect, but from game to game, you I don't know, you made it better. You jump to the next level basically, in every aspects. And I was curious to ask you, for example, you had two big risks from my point of view. I mean, you had this I don't know, big burden in a way of Silent Hill 2 remake that you work basically in the same time with Kronos, right? And you have Kronos that it's your own IP, it's your baby 100%. I don't know how did you manage to I don't know to manage basically this risk inside. I mean, because let's say Silent Hill couldn't be as couldn't turn as nice that it was, and maybe Kronos again, people could say like, hey, this is just a Dead Space game. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna save money for something else. Did you thought on this?
I mean, overall, you need to take a risk if you want to make something special, and you don't. And okay, maybe not everybody will love it or something. Yes, like that's a part of art. Somebody will understand it maybe better or interpret it differently, and somebody maybe will don't understand it. It's not a problem. It's subjective, what you're feeling and how you perceive things. So you need to make risk to make something special. I cannot imagine a situation like, yeah, definitely, we make everything great. This will be 10 out of 10 game, and that's it. I think if you have that kind of feeling, I will be afraid about the game at this moment. I think, and we saw that kind of launch before in the past, like having big marketing, like, yeah, this game will blow your mind, and then nothing happened, or it wasn't blow that much. So yeah, you need to take risks. So of course, Silent Hill was a big risk for us, but also the big opportunity. And so it's not like you need to take it, but if we didn't take it, maybe we'll still be in the the same place or something like it. And we take it. We believe we can deliver it. For some reasons, some people didn't believe that. So we deliver, and then people start also seeing like, okay, they did that, and so Kronos, it's another step for us, and let's see what happened next.
Kronos too.
I'm curious about the technical aspects of porting the game to Switch 2, if you want to share a bit about it, because I was really impressed with how it runs, and I was impressed that it was released on Switch 2, first of all. And one of the questions that I have is if this game could have been released on a physical cartridge, because it's only on a key, and if one of the reasons was that maybe it was too slow, the card for this game, if you had it physical.
That wasn't the topic here. Like, okay, we didn't make a cartridge because it was too slow or something like it. We make a game on a couple of platforms at the same time. Also, Switch was new, and it wasn't easy to do that. And we make a decision. Okay, if we want to go physical, this game keycard will be the best option that we have in that moment.
To release simultaneously on all the platforms. Yeah, that was the reason, to be honest. Yeah, and in terms of porting the game, yeah, of course it was challenging, because the game runs on Unreal 5, so we need to, like, let's say, disable some features like lumens and stuff, and replace them with other lights, or like, let's say, different text. But yeah, we really are really happy that you say that the game looks awesome on Switch. So yeah, I remember, because you mentioned that maybe at some day someone will say that Kronos is something like Kronos. So I remember one day when our designer said that, guys, maybe Kronos for some of Nintendo players will be something like a Resident Evil was, when you are younger, and maybe it's your first survival horror game that you will play. So yeah, it's really, really heartwarming thought.
Let's add the last question, Klamath, and we can call it a day.
Okay, let's do it like this. In Kronos 2, you will absolutely, and I want one word from each other for you.
I will try not to curse. Blow your mind.
Yeah, scare you.
So okay, Klamath, let's do a post that Kronos 2 is confirmed right after the interview. I'm kidding.
If it was with a curse, that was something like Daikatana then.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for your time, and
Yeah, pleasure to talk with you.